Great, thank you very much, and apologize for the voice. I feel great, but my voice is not very good. So we had two forced outages this past month that occurred at Nebraska City 1 during the month. On June 21st, the unit was offline for about 15 hours to repair a steam leak on the feed water system valve that could not be isolated. On June 27th, the unit tripped because of a distributed control system processor when it lost communication with the rest of the system. That was able to be repaired and then came on back online. Nebraska City 2 remained in service for the entire month of June, although during that period of time, we did have to take it down to about 50% power because of some situations with some circulating pumps and a failed pump that occurred at the same time. So that is back up and operating at full power as of June 30th of this past month. The station at North Omaha had two outages during the month as well. Unit 2 was forced offline on June 3rd through June 6th due to a leak in the primary superheater section of the boiler, and Unit 3 was forced offline on June 2nd through June 6th due to a leak in the finishing superheater section of the boiler. Sarpy County 3 had a major overhaul that was completed this past month, just in time for the hot weather we've had over the last couple weeks, and it came back online and ready to go on June 26th and passed all of its emission testing that we needed to have it pass. On the energy marketing and trading side, renewable energy contributed to about 11% of OPPD retail sales. Capacity factor for renewables was 34.5%, and wind capacity factor was 33.6%. To date, renewable energy contributed to 17.7% of OPPD's retail sales, and the wind capacity factor is around 47.8%. A little bit on Fort Calhoun Station. We did have a report at the committee meeting this past week on Tuesday relative to our ISO bus duct cooling issue that occurred where we had to reduce power for a day and a half because of the loss of that cooling. We were able to get that in place, repaired, and then back up and return to full power. And so that occurred as well. The board also received a report on Tuesday about a reactant coolant seal leak that was occurring. It's a very, very minor leak, but obviously we're paying close attention to it and are planning to go in and make that repair in the near future here. There's a Fort Calhoun Station outage performance assessment that's occurring this week. It's led by the Exelon fleet, and it will be conducted across several functional areas such as outage management, engineering, maintenance, operation, and senior leadership roles and responsibilities. And the board will hear a report on that outage report next month at our August board meeting. Obviously, we were talked to in the Nuclear Oversight Committee about a security inspection that occurred by the NRC. That inspection went very well and concluded with no significant issues, findings, or potential violations. We are still waiting on the final determination of the auxiliary feed water special inspection that occurred actually over in July, and we'll hopefully get that in the next week or so, and we'll report on that next month as well. On the T&D side of the business, wood pole inspection and treatments have been completed. We do these primarily to inspect and treat, this past year anyway, 12,000 poles this year as part of our ground line inspection and treatment program, which prevents rot poles, but it also identifies poles that we need to replace before they actually fail. And so this year, 2.5% of the inspected poles required replacement. So it's an opportunity for us to also look at the safety of the public, safety of our employees as well. And kind of tied to that, I had the opportunity to attend a safety meeting at the Papillion Center yesterday, and the Papillion Center actually honored an employee that died in the line of service, and it kind of ties into with this wood pole inspection. And so it was an individual by the name of Arthur Packaser. He was a lineman. He died February 25th, 1948. He sustained injuries and obviously died after a 35-foot fall from a pole that he and a coworker were working on, broke off near the base of the pole. So that's one of the reasons why we do these pole inspections. He actually worked out of Herman, Nebraska. He was 49 years old when he died, and it's an opportunity for our T&D group just to reflect on the serious nature of their work and those kinds of things about OPPD employees that have died in the line of service. And it was a great opportunity, and it was very well respected and appreciated by the members of the Papillion Center. The district received $2.5 million on June 29th from the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency and the Federal Emergency Management Agency for reimbursements of costs incurred in the 2011 Missouri River flood. The total that we have received from NEMA and FEMA has totaled $22.7 million, and we continually work with those agencies as we try to close out that disaster declaration. A little bit about what's going on with some of the OPPD employees. True to form, after the death of Officer Orozco, a group of our employees got together and tried to identify a way where we could help support kind of the mission that she was on in serving the community. So that group got together, identified some ways in which we could assist, and they are developing a fundraising campaign for fallen Officer Carrie Orozco. And as of this week, they've raised over $6,500 to date. And so it's called Keep Up the Pace. It's the name of the campaign, with all funds going to the police athletics for community engagement organization. And obviously, as you well know, this was an organization that she was deeply involved in. So over the course of the month, we're doing a number of different things. We have an individual that's working at each of our centers and having great response from our employees. We're doing a roundup in our cafeteria, and we're also doing a payroll deduction for one-time donations. And so this check will be presented to the PACE organization at our company picnic on August 16th. So it'll be a great opportunity for the OPPD employees to be recognized for that, for the great work that they do. Corporate Marketing Communication has launched a new content marketing site called The Wire. Check it out, if you would, at OPPDthewire.com. The site will feature a wide range of stories concerning OPPD, its people, its projects. It's really trying to personalize the work that we do, not only within OPPD, but in the community. And if you haven't had the opportunity to take a look at it, it's a great site and is being nationally recognized for the work that we're doing. In there, there'll be videos and stories and photos and infographics about what we do, not just about delivering power and generating power, but all the other work that we do in the community. And it will really begin to reference what our employees do and the work that they do. And it's a great opportunity to see that. It'll actually be part of where you can actually go into our OPPD Storm and Outage Center and actually see updates about storms that have occurred as well. On Thursday, June 25th, 65 co-ops and seasonal employees were recognized at the Human Resource Luncheon at the Salvation Army Kroc Center. Our latest crop of seasonal co-op employees have a broad range of educational experiences. They're working in engineering, information technology, transmission distribution, as well as communication, and then obviously some clerical related work as well. So it's a great opportunity for us to bring some of the young folks that hopefully will be able to have work for our organization in the future. Chris Schofield is OPPD's 2015 Engineer of the Year. He's only been with the company for 3 years, so he's made a pretty significant impact at OPPD. Although he's been an employee for 3 years, he actually worked as a contractor up at Fort Calhoun for several years prior to that, and his peers selected him for this distinguished honor. And so we congratulate Chris for that. He has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and is actively involved in his church and the community and a variety of other different things. So it's a great recognition for Chris and his wife Courtney, who are expecting their first child in December. For the second year, we hosted 5 educators throughout our community's schools from June 8th through June 12th. We had a variety of employees work with them on a number of different experiences here at OPPD, and it's an opportunity to take educators in the school systems and really give them a look about what our needs are at OPPD and the experiences that they get. And we've received some great cards back from their experience. And so they've worked on things such as our safety group, our fuels group, our sustainability group, communications, human resources, production operations, T&D transportation, substation, engineering, and information technology. So it's just a great opportunity for us to have those educators in And it really is an opportunity for them to talk about their experience and OPPD as they go into the classroom next year. And as Lisa talked about, we're planning on developing the streaming for our OPPD board meetings beginning in the September timeframe. And with that, that concludes my stated utility report.